Any chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
Let's own it. Let's own it. It's been talks. It's possible.
In a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah.
Canelo, choose one, please.
Guys, we gotta go. We don't.
Can you elaborate on why Crawford is better than Mayweather? Just a little bit of detail.
Oh, he can switch. He's very smart guy. He's better.
Terence "Bud" Crawford, boxing's undisputed pound-for-pound king, has drawn a line in the sand. He's made it crystal clear. If Floyd Mayweather wants him, it won't be for a spectacle or an exhibition. Crawford is demanding the real thing. At the absolute peak of his powers, he's ready to risk his perfect record, challenging Mayweather to meet him in a true fight that would settle the debate once and for all.
Words, you are better than Floyd Mayweather.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
When you heard that, what did you think?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best, you know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know.
The talk of a fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Money. Mayweather has exploded from a single rumor, a demand that could push Mayweather to risk the one thing he treasures even more than money, his flawless, unblemished legacy. The boxing world was turned upside down the night Crawford stepped into the ring against Saul Canelo Alvarez. For Crawford, this was the moment of truth, the culmination of a long, grueling journey in which he had been branded the most avoided man in the sport.
Over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out, from Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not.
Kovalev was older. He does.
Billy Joe.
Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is not there.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo?
A tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching him, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too.
It was a journey so grueling that Crawford later admitted he was ready to walk away from boxing altogether if the legacy-defining showdown with Errol Spence hadn't materialized.
If not, then, you know, it'd just be one of those fights that go down in history that didn't happen. You know, it's numerous of fights that didn't happen. Do I want the fight? Absolutely, yes. Have I tried to make the fight? Absolutely, yes. Do I want the fight after this fight? Absolutely, yes. Like, of course, you know, but if it doesn't happen, then it's out of my power. I can't, you know, make the man fight. I can't make the man, you know, go against, you know, what he stands for with his team and all that. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to continue to do what I do.
How was this particular weight cut? Was it a very difficult one, or did you feel at ease with the weight cut?
I mean, it's always difficult, but, you know, like I said, I don't make any excuses.
Finally, under the brightest lights, Crawford dismantled Canelo and etched his name in history, becoming the first male fighter of the four-belt era to claim undisputed status in 3 different weight divisions.
Situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did it by jumping middle. He came lightweight, junior welter, then he won a belt at junior middle, not the whole championship, and then skipped middle to fight Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed, for the Ring Magazine super middleweight championship of the world, and left no doubts, including with Canelo, who was all class after the fight, but knew.
The win cemented Crawford as the pound-for-pound king, but the real shock came after the final bell. when a humbled Canelo Alvarez, having shared the ring with both icons, stood at the post-fight press conference and made a stunning declaration.
And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than...
He later elaborated on the immense challenge Crawford presented, stating that the American's timing, versatility, and relentless composure made him unlike anyone he had ever faced in his career.
We already know, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just no.
The legend of Floyd Mayweather isn't just about his undefeated record. It's about a masterclass in the purest form of boxing, the art of hitting while never being hit clean in return. His career became a living textbook of defense, timing, and precision. But Mayweather's identity extends far beyond the numbers on his record. It's the product of a carefully crafted image, a global brand built around 3 bold letters: TBE, the best ever.
When Floyd says TBE, the best ever, he's told me, I'm not even talking about in the ring. Someone else can have that. He's talking about playing the whole game. Then you have an argument. Playing the business side of it, not getting hit, getting out undefeated, making a ton of money.
For a man with an ego as immense as Canelo's, the question writes itself. How do Crawford's accomplishments sit with him? How does he watch another fighter do what he never could, becoming a 3-division undisputed champion, without feeling that sting of pride, that challenge to his...
Getting crazy after that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you'll see reports. You mentioned 100 million for Floyd. The reports are 130. First off, he's never gotten 100 million for a fight. Not even remotely close. But there's reports of 130. Wow. There's reports online that Floyd's a billionaire. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete in this year, and over Christian Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is. And there's public companies they do business with. HBO would be one of them. Find an executive to back the claim. It's never happened and it won't be.
When there's a percentage split between Floyd and Pacquiao, I'll just say this. On the Monday after the fight, we wired him an advance, and the advance was $100 million. Someone comes to me with a 9-figure check and says, we need your signature in order to release this.
Wow.
And that's when it set in. It's like, wow,
This is the man whose career has often faced criticism from analysts like Max Kellerman, who pointed to his carefully selective matchmaking once he moved beyond the lightweight division. Was it caution, or was it the strategy of a master tactician protecting his empire? That debate has always lingered, but now it carries an entirely new dimension.
They say Floyd did it in 4, but he had a weight stipulation where Canelo couldn't weigh in as a full junior middleweight. I don't count that. That's not a junior middleweight. That's 3 for Floyd.
What do you have to say to that?
I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually at a catch weight. It was at a catch weight, but it wasn't my idea. Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him, that I was afraid. So he said, Floyd don't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 pounds or 152 and a half. And me, I called his bluff and said, if you want to do it, let's do it at 152. But after Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like it was a certain clause to where he couldn't gain weight. So after he weighed 152 or 152 and a half, I think he came in like 168 or close to 170.
And actually, I came in at probably like I probably came in at 151.
In a bizarre twist of fate, the same calculating mind that built an empire around risk and reward recently made an unexpected move. When Crawford stepped into the ring against Canelo, Mayweather quietly wagered $50,000 on the very man many view as his greatest threat. The bet paid off. netting him a cool $124,000 and raising eyebrows across the boxing world.
I saw you placed a bet, won a lot of money. Congratulations. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction to the fight, Floyd, as you watched Bud and Canelo in there on Saturday?
Oh, it's good for boxing. It was exciting. The best man won.
Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body.
It was a classic Floyd money move, but it left fans debating his true intent. Was it simply another shrewd business play? Or did Mayweather recognize something deeper in Crawford? Perhaps even a final, irresistible challenge to his own throne. With Canelo's words still echoing, the boxing world erupted into a battleground of clashing opinions.
Crawford. Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
Undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence, and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? Yeah, I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on you. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you?
No.
Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gained?
What did you think of Bud's performance last week, man? What did you think of Bud's performance last week?
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without the question, sour. You know what I'm saying?
Sour. You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him probably going to 160.
I would think that's crazy. He looked excellent.
A hypothetical showdown of a prime Crawford versus a prime Mayweather divided experts and fans alike. And the deeper you look, the more complex the matchup becomes. Floyd Mayweather, for all his genius, showed brief moments of vulnerability against fast southpaws, most notably in the early rounds against Zab Judah. Crawford isn't just a southpaw. He's a predatory switch hitter, a far more dangerous and adaptive version of that puzzle. Where Judah brought speed and flashes of brilliance, Crawford brings calculation, composure, and a ruthless ability to adjust mid-fight.
People like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome and more angrier and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me. It's just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. He's going out and Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it. Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie. And sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, that's not.
This sets the stage for a fascinating clash of ring IQs. Mayweather's genius is in control, in risk management, in lulling his opponents into a defensive web from which there is no escape. His timing, his economy of movement, and his ability to make fighters swing at air broke opponents mentally long before the scorecards did. Crawford, by contrast, thrives in chaos. He doesn't just neutralize an opponent, he dissects them, breaking patterns, baiting mistakes, and escalating with a predator's patience until the trap snaps shut.
What was his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Avanesian, I mean not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo to me.
Crawford's genius is predatory and adaptive. He downloads data early, gives up a round if he has to, then flips the switch. Every move becomes fuel for counters, and by the middle rounds, opponents are drowning. That's where the matchup with Mayweather gets fascinating, because Floyd never gave patterns away. His mastery was starving opponents of reads. The question is simple. Could Crawford gather enough data before Floyd shut the door?
Yeah, I'm leaning Bud. Yeah.
He's slick, man.
Yeah.
He's slick. He's super intelligent. Like, he sets traps. He does stuff. And then, you know, there's a bunch of great breakdown videos of particularly the Errol Spence fight, like him setting traps. It's just, he's a very high-level guy, but Canelo is dangerous. He broke Billy Joe Saunders' whole face. Broke his whole face. What he did to Amir Khan, remember that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. And never been down. Never been dropped.
Canelo's a stud. Yeah, Terence.
Yeah. Canelo, I may be the only one. I thought you won the fight. I scored it for you.
You know, we need to accept it. We need to accept it no matter what. In the scorecard, we lost it.
Well, you're the best. You're the number one fighter in the world.
Thank
and
you.
I think keep shining. You want the rematch, Canelo?
Could Crawford's adaptive mind solve the Mayweather code that 50 others failed to crack? When asked, Crawford's answer was direct and confident. Me. But even within the Mayweather family, the debate is alive. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, insists his nephew's defensive genius and experience live on a level Crawford could never touch.
Remember, you know, Canelo, that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. CJ Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a...
But draw cheap.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, you know, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
But how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something great.
Brutal condition isn't hidden in fine print or some complex clause. It's simple yet devastating for Floyd Mayweather's empire. Just like when Roy Jones Jr. teased a fantasy matchup, the demand was the same. No exhibition, only a real, sanctioned fight. And that's exactly the weight hanging over a potential Crawford clash. For Mayweather, it isn't just about stepping back into live fire. It's about risking the crown jewel of his legacy, his perfect 50-0 record, the very foundation of TBE.
Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going out that much.
Now, retiring in 2017, Mayweather has limited himself to lucrative exhibitions, YouTubers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, carefully chosen matchups where the check's clear and the legacy stays untouched.
What is MP Promotions, Netflix, Al Heyman, everybody.
Turns out he can't read just like Floyd.
Oh, MVP.
Carefully managed exhibitions have kept Mayweather's 50-0 untouchable. But Crawford's demand changes everything. A sanctioned fight would mean gambling the empire he spent a lifetime building against an undefeated, undisputed killer in his prime. And even if Crawford stood firm on that brutal ultimatum, the question looms. Who could possibly foot the astronomical bill to make it real?
They take place too late, like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They fought too late. I mean, if that fight could have been arranged by Riyadh Season, they probably would have caught them both in their prime, and it would have been chaos.
Yeah, Manny was dying before that ever started.
And he also had a blown shoulder going into the fight.
Yeah.
He needed shoulder surgery before the fight.
The answer lies in the shifting landscape of global boxing. We've entered the era of the impossible fight. An age where visionaries with seemingly bottomless pockets, like Turki al-Sheikh in Saudi Arabia, are rewriting the rules. Bouts once strangled by promotional red tape are now being made with shocking speed and record-breaking purses. That same financial muscle could be the key to unlocking a showdown of this magnitude. At the same time, streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon Prime have entered the arena, hungry for blockbuster content. A Mayweather-Crawford clash would be the crown jewel, an event capable of pulling in millions of subscribers worldwide. With sovereign wealth funds and streaming services flooding the sport with money, the possibility exists to craft an offer so massive, so irresistible, that even Floyd Mayweather would have to stop and listen.